So I got a request about how to draw hair. So let's look at some old Disney hair. And here's two characters from the Black Cauldron, Islay and Taran. So if you wanted to draw his hair, all you do is you make his head first, and then you put the shape of the hair, and then you start doing your details. So that would be something like this. Head first. His neck comes down here. Notice this is basically a skull. And then you draw the shape of the hair on top of that. So in his case, it goes like this. And you draw the bottom of where the hair is going to be. His ear is going to be like here. And there's a clump here that goes like that. There's this clump that goes like this, around his ear like that. So as you see, it's just basic shapes. And once you have that, then you can start putting in some of the strands here and there, whatever the design calls for. And as for his co-star, she's got her head inside here, and then the shape of the hair here, and she wears a band that goes around. And you see it on this one too. And you can still see some of the rough drawing that the animator did to make this. And so you start with the shape of her head. Do a circle. She's kind of looking up. Don't get too hung up on that because you're trying to do hair. And then you draw the shapes. Draw the overall shape. You want to put this band around the back of her head, like that. And then her hair comes out from that. Keep with your basic shape around the top of the head, the back of the head like that. And then it comes down like this. She's got clumps like this. Her ear is right about here. And there's her neck. So it's just a big shape like that. I'm changing it from what the drawing is just because I want to. So that's how you do her hair, which cascades down. And draw through, so it goes like here and around, and this comes down like this. So it's all just basic shapes. And this character is named Elsa from Frozen. Slightly more complicated hair, but nonetheless can be broken down into shapes. So let's take this one here and draw the shape of her head like that. And she's kind of looking down. Then the shapes of her hair, right here. This is an important one here. And then you make the big shape. And then her ear, another shape behind her ear, a shape here. And then this one comes down right above her eyebrow and connects there. And then you put your lines in there, making smaller shapes. And she's got a shape here, because this is going to curl around her shoulder. This comes down like this. So you just make your big shapes, figure out your details after you do your shapes. So I learned this from Dan Haskett. A long time ago, I was working on a show called Moon Dreamers, and I could not get a handle on it. And I wrote to him and I said, how do I do this? And he said, when you're drawing these characters, make a basic shape of their hair and everything else will fall into place for their hair. These little tiny, they were almost like chibis, matter of fact, back in the 80s. It's probably before they had chibis. And sure enough, once I did that, I was able to draw them. But I was just making the basic shapes, and that got me past a huge hurdle. So let's look at a guy. This guy is from Frozen, named Hans. And since he looks so mean here with a sword, he must be the bad guy, right? So him, we would do, again, maybe he's not the bad guy. I don't know. It's been a long time since I saw this movie. Let's look at that one there. The shape of his hair goes like this, and then goes back, and then the shape of the hair near us comes here, slants down, and then comes down here. And he's got, looks like he has big ears that come back to the end of his hair. And then you go to the interior part and make your shapes there. Looks like it goes back like this. And then he seems to have sideburns that come down like that. But again, just a basic shape. So we don't have to do all of this, but this is a demonstration about drawing hair, and that's our main concern today. And then he's got this back piece like that. And then you can go in and start putting in the lines of details. But always do your shapes. Then, this is the lady from Tangled. This is Rapunzel. And she's got this very long hair, but she can't see that long, long, long hair in every shot. So let's look at that one there. And draw the basic shape again. This. And then her hair seems to do piece up like that, and then go like that. And then the top piece goes around her head like this, and then comes down. And maybe I should make her ear like here. Yeah. And a piece comes down like this, a nice swooping curve like that. So big shapes like this, and then like that. I could bring her hair up a little higher like that, and then come down. Have Moana, and let's look and see, breaking her down. And there's a side view. She's looking off into the distance, it seems. So we draw this basic shape of her face. So her hair follows her head pretty closely like this, and comes down like that. and around her ear. Just draw through to get your design shapes in there. She wears a necklace. So her hair comes down like this. You just draw the basic shape, and then you can go in and do some of the details like this. And last but not least, this is the lady from Paperman named Meg. And her hair, very distinct clumps and shapes. So let's see that one. She's kind of looking down. So here's her head here. And her hair shapes, once we get her head shape just right, her hair shape, she has a part here that looks like it comes down like that. There's a nice curve there. You go up here and across like that. And then there's a shape going up like this. And then it comes down like that. It sweeps behind her ear like this. This shape goes all the way back. And then it comes down like that. And around her ear, a nice little circle there. And her shoulder goes up here. So her hair goes up like that. And then a piece of her hair comes around like here. And you can darken it in like that. Bring it down a little bit more like this. And this shape ends here. And then there's lines that come up like that. And so there's our little lesson on how to draw the shapes of hair for various characters. So try it on your characters and always stick with the basic simple shapes, and you can't go wrong. So until next time, keep drawing.